Okay, let's start na again. Sige. Last lecture for the day, psychotic disorders. Sige. Who here has managed na psychotic patient? Or has seen in the wards or ER or wards patients with psychosis? Hands up. Wala. Wala naka-manage. Ayan, has seen in the hospitals. O, sino nakakita sa mga streets natin? Mga mukhang schizophrenia, nasa streets, nasa sidewalks. Hindi lahat. Okay, wala ba kung nakita yung iba? Mga skits, no? Oo. So actually, seldom sila na treated medically, no? So hopefully, with this lecture, we get to understand talaga na schizophrenia or thought disorders, very biological actually sa kwento. Na we can do something, we can treat as a medical illness. Okay? So, actually, I'm using a different lecture, no? Iba yung lecture ng clerks, but I'm using this lecture para mas may mga medications, mas may gamot. Okay? To provide an overview of the most common psychotic disorders. So, schizophrenia, actually, siguro pinaka-common. Oo nga, ingay niyo. Joke lang, okay lang. Sige, schizophrenia, most common na thought disorder here sa NCMH. Most of our inpatients, actually, number 1, schizophrenia. Marami nating population, no? Characterized by changes in perception, emotion, cognition, thinking, and behavior. Usually begins before 25 years old. So actually, very masaklap. Kasi yung age of onset natin sa boys as early as 15 to 25. Sa girls, females, may 2 peaks tayo, no? 25 to 35 and actually 35 to 45. Dalawang peaks ng schizophrenia sa females. So, hindi pa tayo no, sa edad natin. Actually, ito medyo nakalagay si Van Gogh, no? Pero mukhang bipolar actually si Van Gogh, kung titingnan niyo ang story niya. Schizophrenia sadly persists throughout life. Main diagnosis based on history and MSE pa rin. Very important ito kasi we don't need anything actually to diagnose schizophrenia. This is the story of the patient and your interview and your mental status exam. So you can diagnose, and once you diagnose, you can treat schizophrenia. Kasi gusto natin itong i-push pag nasa community, pag may nakitang skits, i-treat nyo na. Okay? Sige. Epidemiology, technically prevalence-wise, 1%. Equal male and female. However, in the wards, you will see mukhang parang mas maraming males, no? Pero general data-wise, mas maraming equal. Okay, ito what I said earlier, yung onset ng males and then females, yung dalawang peaks ng onset natin. Highly genetic yung skits, no? Kung titingnan sabi sa libro, hereditability of up to 80%. So, what is psychosis? So, actually different kasi psychosis in general, basta impaired reality testing. Okay, so psychosis can be present in many conditions, not only in schizophrenia. So sometimes in your delirious patients, in your mga seizure patients, mga CNSI ninyo na pasyente, di ba, may psychosis, no? So in general, basta may impaired reality testing, psychosis iyon. So how do we say that someone has impaired reality testing? So usually in the presence of delusions, may presence ng hallucinations, and yung disorganized thought. Okay, so again, delusions are fixed false beliefs na does not change even when shown evidence na hindi yan totoo, and then outside the realm of the cultural belief of that particular person. Next, hallucinations are disturbances in perception characterized by hearing voices that others cannot hear, seeing visions, and can be what we said earlier, no? Yung other sensory modalities. However, if more rare, yung presentation such as olfactory, gustatory, tactile hallucinations, consider substance-induced or medical conditions causing the psychosis and not schizophrenia. Okay, so when we say schizophrenia spectrum, this is the spectrum of psychiatric mental health conditions that have psychosis as the main feature. Okay, so lately, based on the DSM, we will see under the schizophrenia spectrum, we have disorders ranging from delusional disorder to schizophrenia. Okay, so here is the general picture, no? So, psychosis, yung main diagnosis natin. If we fulfill that criteria and then the symptoms last for less than a month, brief psychotic disorder. Sa DSM ito ha. Okay, in the ICD, usually brief psychotic disorder, acute schizophrenia-like yan, or acute polymorphic disorder with symptoms of schizophrenia. Pero in general, brief psychotic pag less than 1 month. Okay? If fulfilled yung criterion A ng schizophrenia, yung psychosis and duration ay more than 1 month to 6 months, schizophreniform disorder. Kapag sa ICD, other schizophrenia na diagnosis dyan. Pag more than 6 months, schizophrenia. Okay? So, hindi lahat ng psychosis, schizophrenia. Ha? Depende lang pag na-fulfill natin yung criteria. We also have yung entity na what we call delusional disorder. Ito, mas rare ito, no? Characterized siya by purely delusions lang. We will see later, no? Kasi purely delusions lang to, walang disorganized behavior, walang disorganized speech, walang impairment in functioning, pero may mga non-bizarre delusions yung tao. Then, hindi siya technically no hallucinations kasi kasama dito sa delusional disorder na pwedeng may hallucinations, pero yung hallucination niya ay related sa delusion, sa non-bizarre delusion. So, very rare ito. They usually present outpatient, purely delusion lang. And then we have what we term a shared psychotic disorder or yung fully ado. Narinig nyo na yun, no? So, usually dalawa na may shared psychosis. Yung usual story nito ay there is a person, main person, na dominant, na may schizophrenia or may psychosis, and then nai-influence niya yung kasama niya, na usually mas submissive, parang ganoon. Rare as well. Then we have schizoaffective disorder, na siya yung in between our mood disorders and our schizophrenia. So, in schizoaffective patients, they have prominent psychotic symptoms, but they have prominent mood symptoms as well. So, based on the DSM, we have schizoaffective bipolar and schizoaffective depressed. Yung generally schizoaffective, may na-fulfill siya na mood criteria. Pero, in addition to that mood, meron siyang period na purely psychosis lamang even without the mood. Okay? So, siya yung in between. So, ito ang criteria natin for schizophrenia. Here, DSM-5, remember, latest natin ay TR na ha. DSM-5 TR, pero generally same. Tandaan nyo lang dito, criterion A, to diagnose schizophrenia, we need to fulfill all of the criteria. Okay, so criterion A, we should fulfill 2 or more of the following symptoms. So, dapat merong delusions, hallucinations, disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, and negative symptoms. So, yun yung 5. 5 na yun yung symptoms ng schizophrenia. And then, dapat may dalawa present for a significant portion of time during a 1-month period. Tapos, dapat, yung criterion B, sinasabi niya lang, dapat may impairment in functioning. Criterion C, symptoms persist for at least 6 months. We should have ruled out schizoaffective or mood disorder. Criterion E, ruled out natin substance disorder or other general medical conditions. And criterion F, actually kung may history ng ASD or childhood autism spectrum or childhood communication disorder, additional lang yung schizophrenia if very prominent yung other symptoms. Okay, kasi minsan, may ibang parang ASD or parang ID na mukhang schizophrenia, pero kung yun yung baseline natin, baka mas yun yung diagnosis, okay? Pero in general, basta meron kang, repeat ko lang, hallucinations, delusions, disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, negative symptoms. Tapos, at least one must be of the first three, ha? Must be delusion, hallucination, or disorganized speech. 6 months, schizophrenia. Okay? Kahit yun lang yung matandaan nyo for this lecture, yung criteria ng schiz. Dapat pag, okay, when you are asked, you are familiar with the symptoms of schizophrenia. Okay? Next, ito yung delusional disorder as mentioned earlier. So, presence of one or more delusions lasting for a month or longer. However, dapat hindi fulfilled yung criterion A ng schizophrenia. Meaning, walang isa lang, no? Delusion lang. Wala yung disorganized behavior, disorganized speech, disorganized thought, etc. And then, functioning is not markedly impaired. We should have ruled out mood disorder and we rule out substance. So, ito, these are the different delusions that may present in a patient with delusional disorder. Maybe erotomanic. Actually, I've had once before in the outpatient, no? Paniwalang-paniwala talaga siya na in love sa kanya si Jane. Yung si Darna, yung artista ni Darna, ayun yung kanyang erotomanic delusion. Grandiose, ito yung mga anak ni Hitler, anak ni kung sino, anak ng Diyos, may kapangyarihan, etc. Jealous, usually characterized by thinking that the lover is unfaithful. Term ng mga pasyente dito, tamang hinala. Tamang hinala, tamang duda. Tamang duda. Persecutory, ito very common. Maraming pinipersecute ng gobyerno, pinagkaplanuhan ng mga Abu Sayyaf, pinaghahabol ng mga gang. Ganoon yung iba-ibang content. Okay? Somatic, ito delusions that involve bodily functions or sensations. Ito mas rare. Pero I've had before na parang weird yung kanya parang sure siya na may sakit siya. Na wala naman siyang sakit. Minsan nagme-mix siya sa illness anxiety disorder, pero pag delusional, remember, balik tayo sa criteria na fixed false belief. Ganoon. Mixed type, iba-iba, then unspecified. What else? Brief psychotic disorder. Mas konti yung need i-fulfill, di ba sa schizophrenia, 2 or more, no? Dito, presence of 1 or more, and duration natin ay less than a month. Very important to rule out substance medical conditions. Kasi remember, if the psychosis is very acute, we should always rule out medical causes. 6 months ang schizophrenia, ha? So if you see in your ERs, in your clinics, psychosis na very acute yung presentation, work up nyo muna. Rule out medical. Okay? Pero sometimes you will get talaga yung mga brief psychotic. Remember always, may rule out tayo. Tandaan nyo lang sa DSM, yung criteria natin. Usually, criterion A, yung symptom presentation. Criterion B, actually, usually duration or mga impairment in functioning. Tapos, yung mga last na criteria ay mga pang-rule out. Dapat na-rule out ang medical, na-rule out ang mood, na-rule out ang mga kung ano. Schizophrenia form, remember duration if 1 month to 6 months. Pero same yung criterion A, ha? So, hindi ko na i-discuss masyado to. And then, we have yung mga substance-induced psychotic disorder. So, some patients, they may present with psychotic symptoms. And on history, methamphetamine user, cannabinoids user, daily alcohol drinker, ganoon. So, kapag ganoon, if on the picture of substance use, and the substance is psychoactive, kumbaga, kaya talagang mag-produce ng ganoong symptoms ng substance, diagnosis natin, substance-induced psychotic disorder muna. Okay? However, kung may substance tayo, tapos 1 month, tandaan nyo 1 month yung important duration sa mga substance, no? 1 month, wala nang substance ang pasyente, pero after that month, nag-persist pa rin yung kanyang mga psychosis, meron pa rin hallucinations, delusions, then baka thought disorder talaga siya. Okay, baka hindi na siya substance-induced, no? So, basta, pero kung within a month, may substance pa siya, substance muna, psychotic disorder due to substance use muna ang diagnosis natin. Okay? So, pwedeng psychotic disorder due to methamphetamine, pwedeng due to marijuana, pwedeng due to alcohol. Rarer, sometimes may mga pasyenteng naka-steroids, no, na pwedeng mag-cause ng psychosis. Minsan may ibang naka-dopamine agonists, mga naka-levodopa, na pwedeng nagkaka-psychotic symptoms. So, important to review your medication history kasi remember last natin na diagnosis ang psych, ha? Rule out muna natin lahat. Kasi, o sige, kung psych lang problema, i-treat natin. Pero kung medical kasi yan, may gamot kasi tayo dyan eh. Kung medical yan, kung substance-induced yan. So, kailangan nating makuha yun. Okay, so clinical features. So, for schizophrenia na tayo ha. Focus na tayo sa schizophrenia. There is no pathognomonic sign. So, walang isang sign lang na kapag nakita mo ay schiz yan. So, very different yung presentation. Symptoms change with time. Pwede siyang may prodrome actually. Nagsisimula lang siya. Dok, mas tahimik lang yan. Nasa bahay lang. Parang kakaiba siya pero okay pa naman. Poorer functioning, ganyan. Pero hindi pa fulfilled, no? So, pwedeng may parang prodrome. MSE, ano ang MSE ng person with schizophrenia? Pwedeng possibly agitated because of their hallucinations. They may be socially withdrawn. In particular, sa schiz patients, we have what we term parang precox feeling, no? This is parang inability of the doctor to establish rapport. You'll see this in the wards, siguro if you interview your schizophrenia patients. Parang hindi ma-connect sa kanila. Ayun, basta difficult, parang di mo siya ma-reach, kumbaga, versus sa mga mood disorder natin. Kung depressed ang kausap mo, nalulungkot ka eh. Kung bipolar ang kausap mo, very expansive, tatawa ka, mapapansin nyo yan sa OPS, madadala kayo ng mga expansive, mga elevated patients ninyo. Pero pag schiz, kadalasan, opposite, no? Parang hindi kami makakonect at a certain level. Sometimes it's because they have reduced emotional responsiveness, yung mga blunted affect. Parang nonchalant, na sobrang nonchalant talaga, as in walang expression. They may present with inappropriate emotions, laughing to self, outbursts of laughter, biglang iyak, ganoon. They may have, in terms of perception, common for them ay hallucinations auditory. So actually may table tayo sa Kaplan, no, ng mga common na kumbaga hallucination ng mga schiz patients, pero kadalasan yung content niya ay mga actually masasama, no, derogatory, sinasabihan sila ng mga curse words, ayun, so very distressing yun. May iba naman na parang nagra-running commentary lang, no, parang nagko-comment lang habang nag-household chores, ganoon. So, iba-iba. Ito, remember again, pwedeng may ibang hallucinations in the other sensory modalities. Thought content as well, they may be preoccupied with abstract ideas, particularly our paranoid schizophrenics. There may be ideas of reference. Sa tingin nila, pinag-uusapan sila ng radyo. Dok, yung Facebook, ako yung topic na nag-viral ako or narinig ko sa radyo, pinag-uusapan nila ako. Thought process-wise, they may present with looseness of associations. You will meet patients in the wards na mukhang okay, pero pag kinausap mo, ano talaga, parang may isa ako na, wala talaga kaming nakuhanan, no? Sinasabi niya ng mga tsinelas, yung mga Amerikanang hilaw, mga ganun lang yung sagot niya, no? So, may mga ganoong pasyente, very irrelevant responses. Some are tangential, sasabihin muna, pero mamaya, wala na itong pinag-uusapan namin. And then some may made up words, neologisms. Ito, particularly common sa delusions ng schizophrenia. Sa Kaplan, meron din tayong table, no? The table ay kapag may mga ganitong delusions, likely schizophrenia ang diagnosis. Yun yung tinatawag na frank symptoms of schizophrenia. So makikita nyo doon, yung content ng delusion ng pasyente mo ay thought control and thought broadcasting. So tingin nila may kumokontrol sa akin, nababasa ng lahat ang isip ko, pinapagalaw ako, ganyan, likely schizophrenia yan. Not always, pero pag may ganun kayong, ganun yung sasabihin nilang delusion nila, think na baka schizophrenia to. ay hanapin ko nga yung table, share ko sa inyo. Ayan, again, they can be agitated with poor impulse control. So, very, very careful, no? Sa mga nag-rotate sa ER, you will see yung parang range din. So, may iba na behavior, may iba na kailangan talaga nating i-restrain kaagad. No? Because of their delusions and hallucinations. They may have decreased social sensitivity. And never forget, schizophrenia, nagsusuicide and homicide din. Okay, actually, we have a lot of paranoid schizophrenias committing suicide. Usually kasi, since very paranoid sila, yung content kadalasan, merong papatayin ako, ganyan. So, inuunahan nila, no? Yesterday, I have a patient in the wards na sabi niya, yung fifth complaint ay nag-overdose, uminom ng mga iba-ibang bleach, ganyan. Tapos pag tinanong, anong dahilan no na nagpakamatay siya, ay it's because yung mga kapitbahay niya, papatayin din daw siya. Tapos very brutal daw kasi ang gagawin sa kanya ng kapitbahay, kaya inunahan na niya. No, so ganoon kadalasan yung thought content ng mga paranoid schizophrenia. Ano pa, mga paranoid din, merong nagbibigti, naglalaslas ng leeg, nag-overdose. So, different din yung kanilang methods. Kumbaga, hindi lahat ng nagsusuicide depressed. So, some schizophrenia yung diagnosis. Okay? And some in response to hallucinations, suicidal din. Homicide, in particular, kung very paranoid din, no? Sa tingin nila may mananakit sa kanila. Yung iba naman, lalaban, self-defense. So, sometimes, kung impaired na yung reality nila, yung tao na malapit sa kanila, nasasaktan nila. Sa mga mag-rotate sa forensics, may mag-rotate sa forensic, no, PAB4, you see their cases of parricide. Okay, parricide, yung nanay nila, yung tatay nila, napatay nila, mga diagnosed ng schizophrenia, and even yung mga anak, no. So, very valid din yung kwento. So, very important to ask for suicidality and homicidality sa skits natin. Okay, ito pa. Kung may makuha man kayo sa rotation nito na ito, huwag kayong matakot magtanong ng suicidality at homicidality ng mga pasyente. Next, there may be cognitive impairment. Actually, hindi naman lahat ng skits nagko-cognitive impairment, no? Kung MMSE, yan ng mga skits, may ibang perfect naman, no? 30/30. However, usually kung pangit yung cognition, predictor iyan na ng poorer prognosis. Okay? And they may present with poor insight and judgment. So, anong treatment natin? So, remember, pinagkaiba ng schizophrenia sa other na mga mental health diagnosis, cornerstone natin na treatment ay pharmacologic. Okay? Antipsychotic, no? Example, yung DEP kasi, for example, di ba may mga DEP tayo, anxiety, na may iba na pwede tayong psychotherapy muna. CBT or combination ng psychotherapy at pharmacotherapy. Or may iba kung mild, try muna nating therapy. Pero different sa schizophrenia, ang ating cornerstone, antipsychotic. However, may role pa din naman ang ating psychosocial treatment. Sometimes, kinakailangan nilang ma-hospitalize. For, anong reason natin for hospitalization? Diagnostic process, utilization of medications, particularly yung mga ayaw minom ng gamot. If may harm to self or others, kung very grossly disorganized yung behavior, may iba na naghuhubad, tumatakbo sa daan, may iba na kumakain na ng feces, very grossly disorganized, and then inability to care for basic needs. Social emergencies natin. Actually, ito, indications for admission natin, tatlo yun, ha? Remember ninyo, harm to self, harm to others, and then stabilization of medications. However, here's NCMH and referral tayo. So, social emergencies, indication for admission din. No, binubugbog sa bahay, walang mag-aalaga, dala ng social worker, vagrant yan, dala ng social worker, hindi naman nananakit, hindi sinasaktan ng sarili, irrelevant lang, pero hindi mabantayan, galing sa sobrang layong lugar, pwede nating i-admit. Okay? Anong mga medications natin? O review. Yung main neurotransmitter involved sa schizophrenia ay dopamine. Okay, tandaan nyo iyon, dopamine. Although affected din naman yung ibang neurotransmitters, pero for the sake of this lecture, dopamine yung main natin na target. Ha? Okay, so meron tayong iba-ibang dopamine pathways sa brain. Recall ninyo, apat yung nakalagay dito. Okay, mesocortical, asan na ba? Mesocortical, tuberuloinfundibular, mesolimbic, and nigrostriatal. Okay, so kung may problem tayo sa dopamine, sa mesolimbic pathway, kung mataas ang dopamine ditong pathway, na-affect ang emotional behavior. Ito, kung hyperdopaminergic yung mesolimbic natin, nagkakaroon ng symptoms of schizophrenia, delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thought, and behavior. Okay, sa mesocortical pathway naman, which is the pathway involved with cognition and executive function, kung mababa naman yung dopamine ditong pathway, nagkakaroon tayo ng negative symptoms ng schiz, alogia, affective flattening, avolition. Actually, medyo simplified na ito, no? Kasi hindi siya simple mataas ng dopamine or simple baba lang ng dopamine. Sometimes nag-mix-mix. Pero, ito yung simplified way. Pag mataas sa mesolimbic, positive symptoms. Pag mababa sa mesocortical, negative symptoms. Okay? However, hindi lang yan yung dalawa ang pathways ng dopamine. So, yung mga gamot natin, para mawala yung positive symptoms, ang goal ng gamot ay binababaan ang dopamine. Okay? Kasi kung bababaan ang dopamine dito, mawawala yung delusions, hallucinations, and disorganized behavior. However, we need to remember, hindi lang yun yung dopamine pathways. We have the nigrostriatal pathway, which is involved with motor control. Pag nagbigay tayo ng gamot, bumababa yung dopamine sa mesolimbic, ayan, gumagaling yung pasyente, kahit pwedeng bumaba yung dopamine dito sa nigrostriatal, pwedeng ma-affect ang motor, hence our side effects na PS, yung extrapyramidal symptoms, nagkakaroon ng Parkinsonism, nagro-robot, naglalaway, nanginginig, naninigas. Okay? So kapag affected ang nigrostriatal pathway, that's where our patients get the side effects. Tatanungin ko kayo kapag nakita ko kayo. So remember yung pathways. Okay? And then fourth natin na pathway, tuberuloinfundibular. So here naman, affected yung prolactin secretion. So if babaan natin yung dopamine in this pathway, nagkakaroon ng hyperprolactinemia, kaya nagkakaroon yung mga pasyente ng side effect na galactorrhea and gynecomastia. So pag may pasyente kayo nag-follow up, Dok, bigla akong naggatas, biglang may lumabas na gatas sa dede ko. Parang biglo malaki ang dede ko, no, sa mga lalaki to. Tapos, kapag nagsisession yung menses, remember yung prolactin, ha, kung anong na-affect niya. Pwede siyang side effect ng gamot. So, wag niyong sabihin, ba't kaya nagkaganyan? Siguro, lang, observe lang natin, no? So, hindi, no, alam kasi natin pwede yung side effect. Okay? Basta kasi alam natin yung action ng mga gamot, hindi tayo malulost sa medications. Kaya yung antipsychotic natin ay mga anti-dopaminergic. Okay. So first line natin, medications for psychosis. Yung mga dopamine antagonists, serotonin dopamine antagonists, we have risperidone, olanzapine, aripiprazole, quetiapine. So if the above are unavailable, we have the first generation, chlorpromazine and haloperidol. If treatment-resistant ang pasyente, meaning nakadalawang antipsychotic na siya, at max dose and duration, if failed, then we use clozapine. Okay, so kapag ang tanong sa boards ninyo ay for treatment-resistant schizophrenia, ang sagot ay clozapine. Yun yung parang kumbaga big guns natin. Parang isotret ng derma, clozapine yung sa sa psychiatry. Okay, we may consider using depot injections or yung sa inyong rotation, you will see patients are on long-acting injections. Yung buwan-buwan na injection, naka-flufenazine, flupentixol, paliperidone, aripiprazole na LAI, long-acting injection. Pwede yung ibigay especially for mga non-coherent gamot and repeated relapses, which is most of our patients, no? Okay? Ito, remember common side effects, extrapyramidal symptoms, as I mentioned earlier, yung Parkinsonism, pwedeng rigidity, tremors, hypersalivation, sa mga SDAs, metabolic syndrome. Ganito, yung kwento ng gamot, paano ba? First na antipsychotic na na-discover ay chlorpromazine. Okay? Actually, mga anesthesiologist yung mga nakadiscover. Actually, serendipitous lang. Diba naghahanap sila ng pampatulog sa anesthesia. So, na-discover nila yung chlorpromazine. Tapos, ayan, nakatulog ang pasyente. Tapos, after that, kinausap nila, hala, baka pwede itong ibigay sa mga sa mga pasyente ninyo sa mental hospital na sobrang nagwawala, very agitated na pasyente. So, ayun, binigyan nila ng chlorpromazine. So, success, no? The mental hospital patients were able to sleep. And then, surprisingly, nung the patients woke up na, aside from they were sedated, their hallucinations and their delusions nag-disappear, no? So, that's how they first discovered yung antipsychotics natin. Nung first na-discover ang chlorpromazine, ang daming nakauwi galing sa mental hospital. And then, they discovered chlorpromazine works on dopamine. Okay, so dopamine receptor antagonist siya. They then discovered the haloperidol. Okay, haloperidol nag-a-act sa ating dopamine. So, silang dalawa yung first generation antipsychotic natin. Mga luma, no? However, na-note nila yung mga pasyenteng naka-chlorpromazine and haloperidol nag-develop ng maraming may side effect ng extrapyramidal symptoms. This one, maraming nanigas, nagrobot, nagdaway. So they had to look for other medications, no, na works on the hallucinations, delusions, na less yung EPS. Hence, the discovery of the second generation. Okay? So, yung second generation na, unang-unang second generation actually ay clozapine, no, mga pins, and then next na-discover olanzapine, risperidone, quetiapine, etc. However naman, sa itong batch ng gamot, although less yung extrapyramidal symptoms, hindi naninigas, what they found out, patients develop metabolic syndrome. Makikita nyo ito sa mga nagpa-follow up, sobrang taba, no, ng mga pasyente, malakas kumain, tumataba, na-affect yung menses, so metabolic syndrome talaga. Kaya actually, mas na-discover na latest, no, we have the third generation na. Third generation, kung narinig ninyo, aripiprazole, brexpiprazole, cariprazine. So, third gen, yung goal ng third gen, mabawasan yung extrapyramidal and metabolic. So, actually, surprisingly okay naman. Now, so for our patients, actually, na comorbidities, na ayaw na natin tumaba, ang taas ng insulin requiring, na DM, or mga CKD, what we give yung third gen, yung aripiprazole, no? Good for comorbid. Or some, kaso yung problem na nakikita namin sa third gen, sometimes hindi siya as effective naman sa positive symptoms. Although technically by the book, lahat sila effective, pero minsan mahina sa bulong, no? Hindi completely nawawala yung hallucinations and delusions with the third generation. Actually, mahirap sa ating mga pasyente, no? Kasi kung hindi ka titigas, tataba ka. Kung hindi naman dalawang yun, hindi naman completely mawawala yung bulong mo. Pero, kaya minsan mahirap maghanap ng appropriate medications. Pero, sige, we try our best, no? Pero currently, second gen, Rispe, Olans, quetiapine, clozapine, yun yung first natin binibigay. Kung mapapansin ninyo sa OPS. Oo, kasi kayo yung magpapatulong kami sa inyo sa reseta. So, dapat familiar kayo sa meds. Okay? Sa mga bata, we may start at lower doses, use half dose, pero per medication, iba-iba yung indication. Okay? Ito, baka parating nyo din itong ireseta, biperidone. Actually, biperidone is an anticholinergic, no? That we give for side effects. Remember, di ba pwedeng magkaroon ng motor na side effects? Kung meron, we may give biperidone as needed. Okay, hindi ko na masyado itong i-discuss, pero magandang familiar kayo. So, aside from psychosis, kasi we can give our antipsychotics for acute agitation. So, at the ER, for those who will rotate at the ER, nakikita ninyong sabi yan, pabigay ng R2 sa pasyente, risperidone 2 ODT kapag agitated. Hindi ko na iisa-isahin sa inyo. Pag naging kayo, pag naging MDs, kung very interested kayo, lecture. Pero ito yung dosing natin ng risperidone. No? Watch out for QT prolongation. Olanzapine, pwedeng sa ER, agitation, Olanten, magbigay tayo ng olanzapine ng ODT. Difference niya sa risperidone, mas sedating ng olanzapine. Initial dose, 10 times a day, increase as needed, hanggang 10 milligrams BID. Side effects, very nakakataba yung olanzapine. Aripiprazole, what I mentioned earlier, third gen natin. Ito, given to service users with medical comorbidities. Also, we give if for those na who want to avoid weight. Ito lang, malakas mag-akati siya. No side effect ng restlessness. What else? Quetiapine, if you're familiar na, dose depending quetiapine. So, yung action niya ay depende sa dosing. At lower doses kasi kumakapit siya sa histamine and muscarinic receptor. So, sleep ang target. At higher doses, 100 to 200, kumakapit siya sa mga serotonin and norepinephrine. So, more on mood and anxiety. At dose actually ng higher pa, 600 and above, kumakapit siya sa dopamine. So, antipsychotic siya at those doses. Maximum 800. Kaya minsan baka may mga pasyente kayo na magsabi, taas naman ang quetiapine ko, 300, ganoon. Pero sa totoo lang, hindi, no? Kasi depende sa indication ang dosing natin ng quetiapine. Okay? So, actually, we have available tablets na 25, 100, 200, and 300. So, depende sa diagnosis, yung dose. Ito lang, watch out for QT. Malakas maka-QT prolongation yung quetiapine, kaya monitor natin yung ECG dyan. Haloperidol, meron kasi tayong injection ng haloperidol, so in the ER, or even in your areas, no? We give haloperidol for acute agitation, 1 ml, pwedeng up to 15, 3 ml, no? So, mag every hour tayo ng halo, observe. Tanangin niyo yung mga residents niyo, especially sa ER, ha? Kasi makikita ninyo, bantayan ninyo, kasi there may be times na baka kailangan ninyong mag-manage ng agitated patients. Meron din tayong tableta ng haloperidol. Pero remember, first gen siya, so malala siya makapag EPS. Chlorpromazine, first gen din. Hindi na masyado, pero sa mga very chronic, natatandaan nila to. Anong gamot mo? Chlorpromazine. Clozapine, remember, for treatment resistant, no? Yung toxic dito, kung may board question, ano ang dangerous side effect niya, pwede magkaroon ng cytosis, okay? Kaya ideally sa libro natin, CBC monitoring weekly for the first 6 months, then Q2 weeks after kung okay na. However, sa wards actually nagagawa namin to. Naka-weekly talaga yung mga pasyente na naka-cloza. Pero sa OPS, enough na kadalasan na initial CBC and then monitor. Very rare naman yung agranulocytosis, pero since very dangerous siya, binabantayan natin. Okay? Ito. So, kung may mga sa wards nakakita ninyo na naka-CBC, usually ang kinakount natin ay ANC. Nasa MD count naman yan. Ha? Kung mababa kasi, kung bagsak, we might need to discontinue clozapine. However, maganda kasi talaga siya sa mga treatment resistant, kaya ginagamit pa rin talaga natin. Malapit na palang matapos ang ating tawag dito Google Meet. So, kung hanggang saan na lang yung matapos natin, ha? Pero actually, tapos naman na. Sa treatment na tayo eh. LAI, basta we have flufenazine, flupentixol. Both first generation din. Kaya pwedeng mag-side effects yung pasyente. Ha? May mga newer tayo na injections. We have paliperidone. Yung active metabolite kasi nito ay risperidone. No? Pero ito usually mga 7K per injection monthly. Yung flufenazine, mga 100 plus. Yung flupentixol, 300 plus. Paliperidone, mga 6K, 7K. We have din yung, wala dito, pero aripiprazole, yung Abilify, mga 10K monthly. Ganoon. Pero available to sa atin. No, sa pharmacy. For free. Basta may availability. Next, APS. Ayan, iba-iba yung pwedeng extrapyramidal symptoms na pwedeng side effects ng antipsychotic natin. Maganda sa wards, maghanap kayo with your residents ha, ng mga pasyenteng nag-side effect para makita ninyo yung picture. Or sa OPS, tayo ninyo pag pumasok may tremors, gumagalaw-galaw, yung bibig uncontrollably, baka EPS. And then, lastly, pinakamalalang EPS, what we term as NMS, neuroleptic malignant syndrome. Ito yung very fatal. Ito yung fatal, no? Very rare pero possibly fatal. Ang siya ng malignant hyperthermia. Dito sa ANES, no? Very rare din, pero pwedeng ikamatay pa ganoon siya. So, pwedeng side effect ng mga antipsychotic. Refer to talks ito kung mukhang NMS. Tapos, ideally, ICU yan. Dantrolene yung gamot. Dantrolene, bromocriptine. Mga gamot kasi yung lumalabas sa mga exam ha, okay? Else, EPS, Bipyridine, diphenhydramine, pwede din siyang anticholinergic, pampra sa side effects din. What else? Course and prognosis, schizophrenia, explain nyo sa family, forever na siya nasakit. Okay? Wala tayong cure pa sa ngayon. Pwede siyang episodes of relapse. Kada relapse kasi mahirap na siyang ibalik to prior functionality. So, explainin nyo sa bantay. Ha? Every time po natitigil yung gamot, nagre-relapse, every relapse. Mas mahirap siya ibalik. Mas lumalala ng lumalala. Okay? Usually chronic and deteriorating. Only 20% of good outcome after a 10-year period. So, very difficult, pero explainin nyo na pwedeng matreat ang symptoms with medication. May mga schizophrenia na nakakatrabaho. Meron din na hindi na. So, depende. Depende din sa family support talaga. Ito yung good factors. Okay? Okay. Ayun lang naman. Any questions? Hinabol ko kasi wala pa rin Zoom.